Okay, so today we're gonna make chicken salad. And working at the deli, I have so many rotisserie chickens, it would boggle your mind. It's amazing that I can even look or touch chicken anymore. But the beauty is that I have the opportunity to get really creative with it. So this is a chicken salad I love. It definitely has an interesting twist to it. It's a rosemary and apricot chicken salad with a dash of cinnamon. So it sounds a little wacky, but bear with me, it is delicious. So I bought a rotisserie chicken at the grocery store. I just popped it in my fridge, cooled it down. I have a shallot, some celery, pepper, fresh rosemary. I went to the bulk section. I got just enough apricots, just what I need. Walnut pieces, some sour cream, some mayonnaise. You can use light mayonnaise if you'd like. And then I also have a little bit of cinnamon. So first things first, we need to roast the walnuts. It really intensifies the flavors. It's gonna make the depth of the flavor so much more intense, and it's really worth the time. So I bought them just in pieces. We'll roast them just like this, and then I'm going to crunch them up with my hands once they're cool, and we'll combine everything together. Okay, so I have here a dry pan, no oil, nothing in it. I'm warming it up to medium to low, and I'm just going to put my walnuts in the pan, spread them out so that they're evenly distributed into the pan. It'll just take a few minutes. Keep a close eye on them, but let them do their thing. No need to touch them, no need to do anything. Probably in about 2 or 3 minutes, I'll just give the pan a shake, and you'll see the walnuts are start to brown. You'll be able to smell them. A little bit of the oils will start to come out into the pan. So while these are roasting, we'll prepare the chicken. So this is a whole rotisserie chicken that I bought from my local grocery store. And if you take a look at the chicken, we'll take the skin off, and you can see how it's grown, basically put together. So we'll peel the skin back. We'll start to take the legs apart. And so as you see here, we're starting to open the chicken up. Peel the skin back. And there's a couple things to notice. So when I make chicken salad, I use all the chicken. I think that it's nice to have combination with the dark and the light meat. It makes it a little bit more satisfying. It keeps it pretty moist. And honestly, for the amount of dark meat, it stays very healthy still. So if you take a look at the chicken, there's a bone that runs right down the center of the chicken. So we'll come here and we'll just pull the thighs off, the thighs and the legs, the hindquarters. We'll do that with both sides. Just a little bit of meat here right in the joint. Take as much meat off the bones as you can. And then we're left here with the breast. So I'm just going to take my thumbs. The wishbone is going to be located right in here. I'm just going to take my thumbs and and run it along the line of that bone. And you can see as you peel it away from the bone, it's going to have a really nice separating of the skin. So now I have all this nice meat. I'm just going to start putting it into my bowl, taking it apart. When I do chicken salad, I don't like to shred the chicken. I think when you add the mayonnaise and the sour cream, whatever you're using for a dressing, it really tends to look like chicken glue. I think there's just something satisfying about being able to bite into a piece of chicken and know it's chicken. I just really dislike that texture. If you really like the texture, do your thing. You're the one eating it. So I pick it apart, nice bite-sized pieces. Keep in mind that we are going to stir a little bit when we add the dressing and the herbs. So a lot of opportunities to break the chicken apart. So again, another reason why I like to do it a little bit bigger chunks. And this is definitely a hands-on job. It's going to be the quickest way to get the meat off of the bones. I can hear my walnuts starting to brown and to pop just a little bit, so in a minute or two I'll go over there and just shake the pan. Taking the chicken, off of the bones here. Again, running my thumb along this bone separating the breasts. If you buy the rotisserie chicken warm, take it apart when it's warm. It's the easiest it'll be. The chicken is nice and easily pulled away from the bone. So you can see there's part of my wishbone. No wishes today. Continue taking it apart. Nice big pieces. Also, rotisserie chicken tends to be pretty salty. A lot of times they season it or marinate it before roasting. So keep that in mind. A lot of times, actually most times with chicken salad, I don't add salt. I made that mistake one time and did add salt when I didn't know, and it was pretty bad. So we're just gonna open this up. The wings don't have a ton of meat on them. It's not really, I think, worth your time to pick them apart. So this part's pretty done. Just put it to the side. Pulling this apart, taking the skin off. Getting a little messy. So I'm actually just gonna rinse my hands here real quick so that I can go and check out my walnuts. Make sure they're not burning. So they're starting to brown. I can smell them. You can hear them starting to warm. Almost just pop a little bit from the oils in the walnuts. So as you give them a stir, you'll notice sides are starting to get more brown. Just let them hang. They're not done yet. Probably need about 5 to 7 more minutes. So we'll go back to pulling the chicken. So I've pulled all my chicken, I put it into the bowl. My walnuts are roasted, and now I'm ready to prep the rest of my ingredients and combine everything together. So clean cutting board, nice sharp knife. I'm gonna open up this shallot. The shallot I'm going to mince to really small, fine pieces so that you don't get this really sharp bite of onion. Shallots tend to be a little bit sweeter, a little bit more mild, which is a reason I like to use this versus a red onion. Just run your knife through it a couple times, giving it a nice fine chop. Okay, so we have the shallot. I gave the celery a nice rinse, and I'm just going to cut off the big ends here. I want everything to be pretty uniformed in size, so I'll cut off the ends. And I'm funny about celery. I don't really love the flavor. It certainly has its place, and I like it in chicken salad, but I don't really like. When I was little, I could never just bite into a whole stalk of celery. So I tend to cut celery pretty small. So I'm just going to cut off the hard ends here and slice it up the center. And 4 stalks here. If you want to add a little bit more volume to your salad, put in more celery. Giving it a nice chop so that in one bite you can have a little onion, a little chicken, a little rosemary, a little walnut. It's substantial enough so that you get that bite from it, but you don't necessarily get an entire bite of celery. So I'm going to chop all this up and add it into our salad. So here I have my roasted walnuts, and I'm just going to crush them. So again, you have nice pieces. It doesn't have to ever be perfect. It's a salad. It's about ½ a cup. We'll do our apricots. I like to get apricots, and really any dried fruit, sulfite free, which means it doesn't have a preservative. So it doesn't have that shiny, oily texture, but it I just think the flavor is a little bit better. I think the flavor is a little bit more intense. Personally, I prefer not to eat a lot of preservatives. So I usually shop the bulk section. You can get organic and sulfite-free dried fruit a lot easier than you could maybe in a package. And also it's nice because you can really switch it up. You can get a bunch of different varieties. So here I'm just dicing it into pieces. Again, about half a cup. And this is a Turkish apricot. It's a little bit darker in color and it has a little bit earthier flavor to it. The flavor is different. So if you're a little apprehensive about using something that you haven't had before, maybe buy like 2. Okay, so that's done. These go in. A little rosemary and we're ready for the dressing. Rosemary is an awesome spice. It's very durable. Actually, I live in Queen Anne in Seattle, and you can literally just walk the hills of Queen Anne and pick rosemary growing out of the side of people's houses and out of the side of condos. It's really nice and durable, very fragrant. It has that piney scent to it. It's fantastic in the winter. This is a great salad for winter time. It's also great for summer because it's no cook. So I'm just going to give this a really rough chop. So about a tablespoon of rosemary. We'll do a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. Again, no salt. Dash of cinnamon. And then we'll put our dressing together. So I'll go ahead and grab a bowl here. I like to make my dressing separately and then add it so that you don't get a bite of mayonnaise and then a bite of sour cream, and you don't have to mix the salad as much. 1/4 cup of each, really just enough to coat it. I like the sour cream in this recipe. It adds a really nice tang. Get it all off the spoon here. Mix it together. And then put it together. Okay, so I'm just going to scoop out the bowl here. Get everything out. And then mix it together. Breaking my big chunks of chicken that I didn't break apart. You can smell the cinnamon. Freshness of the celery and the rosemary. Yum. So this chicken salad's classed up a little bit. Definitely you can serve it out of little endive spears on a sandwich. Like I said, it's a little bit different flavor profile with the rosemary and the apricots and the cinnamon. But it's nice and different. It's not your average chicken salad. See if we can get it all in the bowl here. Uh-oh, some down. There we go. Take some of this away. There we go. I love when Julia Child would say, "Oh, if you drop it on the floor, no big deal, just pick it up, who's to know?" I just think that that's hilarious, and it's so true. You know, we have this idea that cooking has to be perfect and there's all this pressure around it. That's just not the way it is. You can just enjoy it, and, you know, if it falls out of my bowl, it's gonna fall out of yours, and that's okay. So we'll do just a little bit of rosemary, a little sprinkling of cinnamon on the side, and we're good to go. Maybe a little pepper. Here we go. Thanks so much for spending some time with me and cooking with Christina. Have a great day.